One of the things Apple is known for is privacy.
We see this as important to accomplishing the mission we share, which is to keep users safe.
Many people have this factor in mind when buying an Apple device. That's because Apple makes it really obvious that it's doing what it can so that your data stays with you. As of late, you may have seen these pop-ups every time you open a new app. But what if I were to tell you that all of this is actually a lie? What's up guys, this is AK, and while this video may be a bit controversial and may upset some people, I think it's an important topic to talk about in today's date since technology is taking over more and more of our lives. So this pop-up that I mentioned earlier, this feature came out with iOS 14.5, and because of it, only 25% of iPhone users consent to it. That just means apps such as Facebook can't obtain your data, but Apple still can. You know all this paperwork that comes with your Apple devices? This is basically consent for Apple to use your data from the moment you set up your device. But nobody reads it, and there isn't a point anyway because you've already bought the device. Bold claims, AK. Prove it. So let me take you to Apple's privacy website. Not this, this. If you go through the sections on this website, you'll realize that the language is carefully vague. It's so that Apple can get what it wants and you can't say a word. Let's begin with workout activity. Look at point number 3. Apple will retain your workout and activity data for a short period of time and will use this data only to turn on this sharing feature. So when you share your workout activity with someone, Apple will also receive that data? Why? On top of that, they store this data for quote, a short period of time. Short is subjective, could be 2 days, 2 weeks or 2 months. Next, there's Apple Maps. However, this data is shared only if certain minimal thresholds are met. Certain minimum thresholds. What those are, we don't know. When you use Siri, it's literally sending your family members' names to Apple. Same for people you've named in your photos. Lastly, Safari. When you search something, your location, topic of interest, and more is sent to Apple. And while it does say that it doesn't send your identity to Apple, think about it for a moment. If Apple is collecting data about your family members from contacts, your family and friends from photos, your off location, what's stopping them from collecting data from the Me section of the iPhone? And while it's true that Apple doesn't directly link all your data to your Apple ID, they can create an avatar of you on their servers, something similar to what was shown in the Netflix documentary The Social Dilemma. Now, here's the thing, in the early days, Apple devices were selling really well because of their hardware. It was elegant, innovative, and unique. But today, we've reached a stage where smartphones are stagnating and Apple is quickly realizing that if it wants to beat other big tech companies, it needs to focus on software as well. And remember the pop-ups that I mentioned earlier? Not sending that data to third-party companies also means that all of that data is reserved for Apple to use for itself. Data such as your Wi-Fi information, usage, and other data about yourself. You don't just become a $3 trillion company with nothing. You need research, feedback, and testing, and our data is the best source of feedback they have. Based on this data, they do profiling, which means segregating their audience into segments and sending them certain kinds of ads to see how they react. And the thing is, their hunger is only increasing. Google and Meta is taking away all that advertising money, and Apple wants to be a part of it too. I think we need to realize that our data is safe with Apple only if Apple wants it. So I'm sure you've read those articles about how Apple has avoided building a backdoor into iPhones despite pressure from the FBI. But at the same time, in China, Apple has created a surveillance and censorship system for the Chinese government. Apple is just like any other company. They too are motivated by profit. Just like how the Chinese government has access to its citizens' emails, photos, and documents, Apple could, if it wanted to, do the same in the US or other countries. Our data is only safe depending on whether they want it to be. You could go through the Apple privacy policy website yourself and turn off all the settings that allow Apple to collect your data. But nobody wants to read through that huge chunk of text, and more importantly, nobody wants to spend 30 minutes on their phone toggling random settings. And just to be clear, I don't hate Apple. In fact, I love their products. I own an iPhone, a Mac, AirPods, iPad, and I'm considering getting an Apple Watch. And they're still a company with one of the highest scores in Trust Index. With this video, I just wanted to bring across the idea that in today's digital age, privacy is becoming a myth and no company can be trusted 100%. As consumers, we need to be careful and question the trust that we put in these companies. Otherwise, we are not consumers but slaves, and these companies will get away with stealing whatever they want from us. Anyway, that is it for today's video, guys. Hope you guys discovered something new and enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like on this video. I will really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel for more such videos and make sure to check out my other videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.